What's up, everybody? How's it going? The LSU season begins tonight in Orlando, a rematch against Florida State, the team who embarrassed at times and then even relinquished their double-digit lead on LSU last season in this opener. We didn't have Mason Smith in that game either. Had him for like a drive. He looked really dominant. Then he goes out with that injury. Maybe the team didn't psychologically recover from that, but at the same time, I will point out we came back from that double-digit lead, should have forced overtime if it weren't for our god-awful special teams. And let's not forget, not only did that defense stuff Florida State on 4 big-time drives, holding them to a field goal on one of those drives to 0 points on the other 3, and 3 of those were inside the 5-yard line, and we stuffed them, including a 4th-and-goal pass breakup by Sage Ryan that would have put them, I think, to 17-7, would have really kind of buried us at that point. 24-7 at that point. And then another one where Mekhi Garner breaks it up, almost picks it off. Had some great stops there. Of course, the Mekhi Wingo fumble recovery late in that game to give us the ball back. Jaden Daniels goes 99 yards with under a minute and a half left. Malik Neighbors immediately atones for that fumble, gets, I think, a couple catches right there, right off the bat. LSU get in that spot with an untimed down thanks to Mason Taylor jumping out of bounds. Heads up play, even though most guys at that point would have probably dove for the score. But LSU have an untimed down. Doesn't work out. They don't, even though Jeray Jenkins catches the touchdown and everything's all, this is going overtime, baby. Shocking scenes follow with the PAT block that was just the beginning of, wow, our special teams are even worse than we believed. I mean, the whole game, it was like, okay, well, maybe those are just outliers, individual errors, etc. And that play just proved, no, this is systematic across the board. So what type of team will we see against Florida State this time around? Well, I mean, we're an entirely different team than we were from last year. But at the same time, we were an entirely different team by like week 7, week 8, after the Florida game, after the Ole Miss game, even before the Alabama win. We were still a vastly superior team than the one Florida State played us on week 1 of 2022 and would have absolutely handled that Florida State team. Yes, they won 10 games in the ACC against some – you can't even compare the competition that LSU played last year to what Florida State played. Yes, they came into the Superdome and beat LSU. There's no getting around it. And that's why LSU fans, we can't even talk shit to Florida State fans until we win this game. They deserve to talk the shit. I'm just going to have to say it. They deserve to talk that shit until we beat their ass. Then once we do, then we can point out all the deficiencies that we really, that were really the reason that they should have lost that first game as well. But here come LSU. Without Mason Smith again, due to the NCAA and probably some connections to Florida State too, with the powers that be that put this stupid decision through that banned Mason Smith for one game when Kayshon Boutte was able to decide the game. He was able to choose the game he was going to be suspended for, and he was suspended as part of this same autograph session. So why wasn't Mason Smith given that courtesy? Well, he's not Jim Harbaugh, I guess. So Jim Harbaugh gets that courtesy. Mason Smith doesn't. Kayshon Boutte does. Mason Smith, you were injured. So that means you don't get a choice anymore. He could have sat Grambling. Why wouldn't he have sat Grambling? Well, let's put on our conspiracy theory hat or reality hat, and let's just be honest here. Some Florida State connections were like, this kid cannot play because look at that. That's against the rules, right? And some guy somewhere is technically John, but do you really want me to make a deal of this? Do you really want me to do this? Hey, I got your son out of that DUI 3 years ago. Okay. I'll have it on the committee's desk on Monday. Thank you, sir. You see exactly how that's done, and that's some of these people just want to take the Tigers down in the NCAA department. So you see Mason Smith off the field, but here's the thing that also I want to point out to Florida State fans who may be watching this or may watch this after LSU win this game by 11 points as we predicted. LSU didn't have Harold Perkins last year, at least on defense. He was playing special teams. That is a huge difference. Also, LSU didn't have this type of receiving core where like the receiving core are actually, they're actually with the quarterback. They're not on their own thing. I mean, we were told how much the connection with Kayshon Boutte and Kayshon Boutte and Jaden Daniels was just totally there, and they were so in sync. And we heard so much about that throughout the offseason. It was such utter bullshit. They were so off. And so just remember that type of stuff going into this game. Like, you are fed a lot of stuff from a lot of media people who kind of want certain narratives to play out. And it's great for everyone to have LSU win another national championship. And I hope to God LSU win another national championship, because that's what I predicted. I predicted LSU to finish this season 11-1 with a loss to Auburn, beat Georgia in overtime, a crazy game by a field goal in the SEC championship game. And then we play USC in the semifinal here in the Superdome in New Orleans. And then LSU have another rematch against Georgia in the title game. LSU facing Georgia once again, and Georgia playing in their third national championship game in a row, and LSU win a tight but kind of dominant game right there. Dominant game by LSU, and they proved they're the national champions of this college football season. The absolute outlier, the best team, and I don't feel like who's going to beat these guys. I can't really look around and say, oh yeah, that's a team that's going to beat LSU. It's going to happen because it's just a fluke season where you're going to lose games every college football year. This is just going to happen. I mean, how many undefeated Alabama teams were there? Just look at that for the actual facts of how this is done. It's very rare. LSU's had how many undefeated teams? We've had one undefeated team go throughout the regular season but losing the title game, 2011. 1958 and 2019 are the only ones, I believe. Yep, 11-0. Went 6-0 in the SEC. Beat Clemson 7-0. I love that score, and we did it in the Superdome too. Or sorry, let's see, where was that Sugar Bowl held? Superdome wasn't built obviously back then. Let's see. Tulane Stadium, New Orleans. That's it. It says New Orleans, Louisiana, Tulane Stadium, January 1st, 1959. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Number 1 in the AP and coaches poll. So that's a poll era championship that really you can't even dispute. That's an LSU championship. And then 2019, and I think those are the only 2 LSU undefeated seasons. It is difficult to do. If this LSU team went the gauntlet and went undefeated, damn, that would be so impressive. That would be absolutely brilliant. I mean, to go through this schedule, it would be extremely difficult to do, because look at that first 5 games. LSU could lose 2 games within that first 5, and I gotta say, I wouldn't be shocked. Not saying that they're a bad team or what. It's just that is how competitive, that is how crazy college football is nowadays. It's just getting more and more intense. The parity is getting lesser and less. I mean, like look at what Colorado did to TCU yesterday. TCU almost ran for 300 yards on them. So I know the narrative is like TCU were bad offensively, but no, it was just a different TCU offense. It's slower. It's not what we're used to, not as pass happy. But they ran it all over Colorado. But when it mattered, they couldn't do anything. And they had some big, chunk score plays, and Colorado had some big turnovers that really kind of changed things, gave them extra possessions. And Deion Sanders' sons absolutely balled out. Shador just went crazy. Foul over 500 yards. You cannot predict what goes on in college football anymore. And so the fact that I got 10 wins right last year on our predictions blew me away, because I expected to get like tarred and feathered and destroyed, and LSU to lose like, 5-4 games, something like that with all in all. And I was like, watch, we'll get tarred and feathered, huh? But then part of me is like, no, the SEC is weaker. The SEC is weaker. And LSU have what it takes. This team has more heart. This team will figure it out as they go on. And so I was worried more of what we had suffered at the front end of the season as we kind of got going. So glad that like the front end of that schedule was like a lot easy for LSU to kind of gather themselves, get into the swing of the BK era. Even though the Florida State game was crazy and everyone was watching and it was high profile, the game didn't really affect us that much. The loss, like schedule wise, and where we would end up, we still had the college football playoff in our control. If we had just beaten Texas A&M, we probably still would have made the college football playoff, even losing to Georgia like we did. Seriously, I mean, I really do wonder what would have happened had we beaten A&M handily, but then go into the Georgia and still lose 50-30. But you had two receivers go for over 130 yards. You had two quarterbacks nearly throw for 300. Your Harold Perkins was savaging Stetson Bennett. You put up 30 points still all over the secondary of that. And you just had some terrible special teams errors that really gave Florida that game, Georgia that game. And so Florida, how dare I mix up Florida with Georgia right now, because Florida are nowhere near an SEC championship. Ridiculous. Sorry. That was a Brian Polian mistake right there. But this schedule, even as the number 5 team in the nation, like if LSU, I almost expect LSU to lose one game right here in this. Okay, we got Florida State right here. Grambling, going to win that. At Mississippi State, it is always a tough game. 11 a.m. in the morning at Starkville. We have not scored over 40 points or 40 points, over 36 points, I'll just say that, at Mississippi State, against Mississippi State since 2013. In any of the games, they held Joe Burrow, 2019 offense, to 36 points. Most of those games, they held us under, 20 in some of those instances. It was like 19 points, it was ridiculous. Mississippi State always play us hard. And playing at Mississippi State, Will Rogers for the third time, it's that game is one that I always really watch out for and really get worried about. It's always a real grind, that Mississippi State game, because they throw it a billion times. It's House of 1,000 Daggers. It's Death of 1,000 Cuts. It's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type bullshit. I mean, it's just they really want to wear you down defensively, and it wears you down watching the game. Arkansas the week after that. At home, though, but still Arkansas in September, not November. Is that just like psychedelic to you or what? It blows my mind. And then at Ole Miss. I think LSU will win all those games. Like, that's what I predicted. But there might be a cost. We might have some injuries. We might have some things happen that could affect us down the road in those games. because I just think they're going to be tough. I think tonight's going to be tough. Grambling, that's going to be easy. Mississippi State's going to be tough. Arkansas is going to be tough. Ole Miss, I think that might be sneaky tough, but still, I think Harold Perkins can handle them because I think he's got something ingrained in Jackson Dart's mind about fear. And so I think the fear of Harold Perkins is going to make him run into guys like Ovia Gofu and Savion Jones and company over and over and over. But tonight, in just an hour and 10 minutes, this is where it all begins. This is basically a week 1 playoff game, everybody. A week 1 playoff game. Comment your scores right now. I want to see everybody's predictions right now. Put your fucking cards on the table, everybody. Let's go. Let's go. Show me who you are repping. Show me who you believe in. Show me who's going to win this game tonight. This is a playoff game in week 1. A playoff game in week 1. I mean, it doesn't get any more just sicker than this. You've got two teams who are very familiar with each other, do not like each other. I mean, every Tiger I talk to, I said, don't go out. I hope to God there's rules from Brian Kelly saying no one leaves this hotel once they were in Orlando, because if you go and you run into Florida State fans or Florida State players, there's going to be trouble for LSU guys, for Tigers. So just stay in the hotel, stay distracted, stay like focused, but like as a team watching, like, remember the Titans, just as an example, or hanging out, doing something as a team, building that bond, building that brotherhood, but stay away from all the insanity out there, because I'm telling you, this game, what's going on that field, it's going to be blood. It's going to be mayhem, guys. There will be blood tonight. There will be blood. Both teams hate each other. This is a collision course. They've been thinking about this for 12 months. It's 12 months to the day. It's going to be a long night of football tonight, brothers and sisters. I tell you what, we got some comments in the house. Brandon Lewis says 35-21 Tigers. That is a definitive victory by LSU. Would you say, Brandon? Who's your MVP, Brandon? 35-21 LSU. Absolutely gang stomp the Florida State Seminoles. 35-21 Tigers. I like that, Brandon. I like that. Almost kind of an interesting scoreline, almost kind of exactly right in the ballpark of Brandon. The real FBI 69. That's a hilarious handle there. The real FBI 69. 35-25 LSU. So we got some double-digit predictions by LSU. I'm going to put mine in there just to and put the Florida State preview for everybody who's interested, because these were some of the articles I loved writing, everybody. These were so fun to write. I loved putting this stuff together. We also are going to post in there our entire season predictions. I'm talking game by game. We predict it all. MVPs of each game on offense, on defense, including like stat forecasts, not just their name. We predict what's going to happen, but then we also, it goes into sections. We analyze the game in the first section, and then we say the final score, and then we say what we believe is going to happen. So, and it kind of goes back and forth with trying to mini profile bowl teams. We try and keep it concise, entertaining, but also thorough enough to give you the information that you absolutely need as Tiger fans. I hate writing FSU because it's like, you're not an SU. You're just a Florida State. Like, you don't look that cool. So I'm not writing FSU. I don't subscribe to that, right? Yep, we got it right there on the banner. It's just called the Florida State. We don't agree with that shit. We're not going to honor them. There's our own prediction right there, 41-30. With the preview, if you want to check that out. And we got another one from Brandon Lewis. He tells us who his MVP is going to be. He said Malik Neighbors. Guess what? We predicted that too. Let's see what we said we had for his numbers. We predicted 143 yards from Malik Neighbors, 8 catches, 2 touchdowns. Well, is that not a game, or is that a game? I mean, that's a game and a half, everybody. You know, the Jared Verse, Will Campbell battle is going to be huge, but I think you're going to see Florida State wimp out of that and really just move him around. Let him go at Emory Jones. They're going to let him go at the guards, especially the guards. I think he's going to really target Miles Frazier. Okay. I think that's who he's going to go after, is Miles Frazier. Miles Frazier. Emory Jones, he's going to go after just to kind of like, I'm going to go at you, bro. I'm going to kind of like keep coming, just keep him on his toes. You're going to have Jared Verse moving from right to left to through the middle. I think you're going to see him drop into the flat, cover the flat. They're going to do a lot of stuff with him just to keep Jaden Daniels on his toes, just to keep him worried and thinking and concerned. The more you have Jaden Daniels hesitating in the passing game, the more screwed LSU are going to be. So if they can do anything to hesitate him in that backfield, keep him from just pumping it out and distributing, it's gonna hurt LSU. Yes, we will get yards in the running game from Daniels anyway. He's gonna hesitate. He'll see a lane and he'll go. That's fine and well. But LSU tonight need big time plays in the receiving game to win this thing. I'm telling you right now, we Daniels need to at least throw for 270. I'm not saying he needs a 300-yard game, even though that's what I predicted. He's going to really need to put up at least 270. Let's see what we got here. We predicted a Sage Ryan interception tonight, a Savion Jones forced fumble, a Makai Wingo fumble recovery, and they'd get massive contributions from Aaron Anderson and Mac Markway as well. My buddy Daniel's calling me, wants to come over, and I'm like, dude, I was trying to get your ass over here before we went to live on the live stream, because we were going to have Daniel join us on the live stream. Trying to get his ass over here before we started going live. So it's like, damn, man, come on. This game has me so fucking pumped, guys. I don't know about you. I just am like, there's so many matchups all over this field, because the offensive line, defensive line battles are going to be brutal. They're going to be so fun to watch in the trenches. You're going to see two teams that are extremely physical. I was shocked at how Florida State kind of abused us in the trenches last year. And I think Brian Kelly took that personally. And I would too if I was a football coach. I mean, as a fan, I took it personally. So as a football coach, it would be like, a shot to the crotch. Like literally someone just held your arms back and you're like, no, no, no. And then they spread your legs wide and you're like, no. And then they just, with like a pellet gun or something, just with like shooting a hammer, like right at your crotch. I mean, that's basically what that was like. I mean, it was like the UCLA game. They were just dominant. And the yards may not point that out, but it felt that way. They also were dominant, the most dominant on third down. 11-17 from Jordan Travis. You've heard it all week. You've heard it all off season. They destroyed us on third down. It's what allowed them to control the game, even when they're screwing up in the red zone. Like I pointed out, they wasted 4 trips down there. 4 trips down there they wasted. Here's the thing, though. Jaden Daniels has this amazing ability to lead long, calculating, methodical drives down the field that control time of possession, control the game, dictate terms to the other team. And I think we need to begin the game that way instead of beginning the game coming out of the traps fast with some big plays downfield. I think we may work into those, maybe by the second, third drives. But that first drive, I want to see us on the field for 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes, grinding it down their throat, just right up the gut, and then have Daniels rush to the side, to the edges, then have some passing plays over the middle, show them that we're going to work them in the passing game. Tonight could be a big night for Mason Taylor, Kamorion Pimpton, or Mac Markway in the receiving game, because those linebackers from Florida State will get shredded by LSU tonight. I don't know if it'll be by the tight ends or the receivers. Whoever they're going to match up against, they're going to pay the price tonight. They will pay the price. They're too old. They're not fast enough. This team is going to shred them. We have the tight ends with the athleticism to do it. Here's the thing, though. Could, should, would, might LSU lose this game? Yes, that could happen. Why and how could it happen? Straight up, I'm going to just say it, injuries. We don't want to hear that word. We don't even want to go near it. That's the realities. Injuries could cost LSU this game in certain places. But if quarterback were to be one of those positions that were injured, I have faith in Garrett Nussmeier coming in this game and beating the Florida State Seminoles. It's just, there's so many ways you can look at this game, and maybe I'm looking at it from the weirdest way right now, the weirdest point of view. But to me, this game there's so much magnitude with this game. I feel like if LSU lose this game, they're not going to be able to go through the rest of this schedule undefeated. So you're going to have 2 losses by the end of this regular season. That's how I feel about this game. If I'm wrong, I would love it. I would love it to be proven wrong. LSU can still lose this game and then go undefeated, win the next 11 games. That would be amazing. I don't think that will happen. I think LSU has to win this game tonight, and I believe they will. I believe they will by 11 points. That's how confident I am. At the same time, I know this is college football, and I know just crazy things happen. We have no control. It's those 22 players on that field. The coaches can even put in the play call. It really doesn't matter. Those players control what happens. They dictate the game and the pace of this game. Sometimes the referees can really put their stamp on a game, and that sucks to see when referees try and decide outcomes, decide tempos, control tempos by throwing flags every 2 seconds. You know, that type of garbage. And I get, if there's a rule infraction, they got to throw the flag, and that's what kind of sucks about football. Is I think they should do a thing that soccer does, and I saw it yesterday in the TCU game. They pitched it to Jack Besh with this little flip play. He's in motion, going across formation. Quarterback flips it to him right as he's going past the center's ass, and he's gonna just go on this end around, and he's got total space. But they stop it dead for a defensive offside. What the hell is that? In soccer, they play advantage. They go, okay, the defense just screwed up. I'm going to let the play go because the offense, I don't want to script the offense. Let them score. Why punish the offense because the defense broke a rule and bring it back and stop play? That completely ruins the momentum and everything. You wouldn't believe how many times refs screw up playing advantage, and the players go absolutely nuts because it basically cost them a goal. That was the type of opening you saw. And In football, it's almost ridiculous when those plays happen. They've got to fix that. They've got to fix that. I think that's got to be something they adapt. I know it sounds crazy. Maybe you're not understanding what I'm saying, but that was the perfect example of that rule and why it should be in there. Why referees should have the control of saying, "All right, that is a flag, but I'm going to just keep it going," because if I change, the tempo here of this play, it's going to absolutely screw everything up by throwing this flag. So that's something that I just want to see kind of adapted. And I think that could also help LSU with their high-flying offense this season. Because we're going to see it, guys. I really think this is going to be an offense that there is no excuse for this offense to not be absolutely dynamic. Who among us watching this believes that this LSU offense is going to be, and I'm not meaning way too conservative, just rushing the ball or too much, or you wish they passed it more. I'm talking about like they don't get yards, they don't get points. Who among us thinks this offense is going to suck? Who thinks this offense is going to suck? I haven't heard it from anybody. I haven't heard it from a single analyst. I haven't heard it from a single writer. I haven't heard it from anybody. Sorry, we keep sinking down into the chair. So for me, I really, watching this offense in fall camp, watching this offense in spring, watching the way we were handcuffed last year, watching what it could be, watching, looking at everything that we've got now, in addition to really bolster this team. There's only one way this thing goes, and that's LSU winning a national championship. Maybe they lose to Florida State tonight. Maybe that's the shocker. Maybe that's the wake-up call. Because I'm telling you, we lose to Florida State tonight, we will not get back the goodwill we have, the crowning we've had by the entire media. We won't get that back until we beat Alabama. We will be mocked. We will be derided. We will be called straight up pretenders. Brian Kelly will get criticism like you have never seen. Last year times 20 if we lose this game tonight. And we lost that game by a blocked PAT. And I know this type of shit doesn't matter to the players, to the coaches. They'll hang tough. They'll be mentally fine. But if you're saying it doesn't have any effect, like having the entire college ball world, sports world criticizing you, think again. These are teenagers. They're going to see it. This is a game we have to win. It's not because they're not mentally tough enough or to survive criticism. That's not really what I'm saying. I'm just saying you don't want to start the season off with that type of vibe, that mojo. And I felt like that's what happened with Brian Kelly's first season. But it almost had to begin that way. Everything was so against the grain, so swimming upstream, because of everything Brian Kelly had to clean up, had the holes in the roster he had to fill. It almost felt like appropriate that season began with a big, just terrible loss. And then right when we're getting momentum, just a big, terrible loss to Tennessee. And then out of nowhere, Florida, Ole Miss, Alabama get their asses pounded. And LSU are suddenly in it. I hate to say it again, but we had a big chance to make the college football playoff last year. We screwed it up by that A&M loss. And that's another thing. LSU had a tired team last season by that A&M game. You know why I believe we will win a national championship? Because LSU has such a deep team in certain areas, especially the trenches, guys who are capable, guys who are trusted, who can come in and rotate and give these big-time guys quality sideline minutes to rest while giving coaches and fans highly entertaining, high-quality reps themselves on the field. They're not coming to give some guys some rest. They're coming to dominate, take the ball away. There's guys like Jacoby and Guillory who come in there and playing for their last fibers of their NFL career. They're playing for everything. This is a big season for a guy like Sage Ryan. This is a big season for a guy like Quincy Wiggins. The guys who have been there, this is their second season. This is a big season for them. Don't think that Jordan Allen can't come in and be a dominant player for LSU. You're mistaken if you don't think so. I'm not saying every guy on this team is going to be great. Every guy on this team is going to be an icon or a legend or blah, blah. No. But you just never know who it's going to be at LSU. That's what's so awesome. It can be anybody. Preston Hickey could come into this team and absolutely kick some ass. Whit Weeks could be the second, third best linebacker on this team behind Spates and Perkins. Stamps could come in and be dominant at cornerback due to like maybe an injury or just because he's better. So I think, maybe you could see some shuffling today. Maybe you could see a few big plays happen, and so Robert Steeples, Kerry Cooks kind of flip what they're doing and shuffle the puzzle pieces, move Sage back to nickel, start Deuce Chestnut and Zy Alexander out there, Brooks Jr., Burns at safeties. You put Sam on the bench, or you go back to Sam, Burns, Brooks at nickel, Sage Ryan at corner. I mean, you can switch it back and forth, and I think get interesting results either way. It's going to be very interesting what they do. And I'm all here for it. This is going to be so entertaining to watch this game, this chess match. These two teams hate each other. They know each other. Last season, LSU were such a different team in that game. And that is so readily apparent. And it is readily apparent to Florida State if they're being coached right. If Mike Norvell is coaching his team like he should, which I kind of question. I kind of question Mike Norvell as a coach. Yeah, he had a great game last year, but they collapsed last season. That's the thing about Brian Kelly's teams. They don't usually surrender leads. They'll surrender points early and then have comebacks. We were the comebacks kids last year. 4 comebacks. 3 of them turned out to be victories. 4 of them should have been, but the Florida State PAT was blocked. You know what I'm saying? This is a chance to rectify all this bullshit. This is a chance to really stake a claim that this is a team in here for the long haul. We're here to kick Alabama's ass. We're here to beat the heck out of Georgia. It's I'm stunned Brian Kelly said that. Are you shocked by Brian Kelly saying that? We're gonna beat the heck out of Florida State, just saying it right there on TJ Ribs. I mean, that just shocked me. I mean, it's confident as hell, and I love it. Gotta back it up. I think they will. And I'm looking forward to this team going out there and kicking ass. But, I mean, we got to be realistic here. What happens if LSU go out there and lose this game tonight? How would you feel about this team if LSU lost tonight? Say they lost by 10 points. No injuries, just 10 points, just didn't play well. How would you feel about this team if they lost by 3 points, by a field goal right at the end of the game? Maybe they lost some opportunities and let threw away some opportunities and let Florida State back in the game. Maybe LSU gives it away tonight. How would you feel about this team for the rest of the season with either of those outcomes? For me, it doesn't really change how I view this team in like the whole overall thing, because this game is such an outlier. This game is a non-conference, like a playoff atmosphere vibe, really a primer for the rest of the season. And I think whatever happens, good or bad tonight, LSU are going to adjust, recover, and figure it out. Especially in the secondary, I think our secondary going to be fine. Too many people are fucking crying and screaming over our secondary. I really do believe they're going to come good. I think tonight they're going to allow yards, a lot of yards. But I think at the same time, they might also make some big plays. Allow some yards. Let Jordan Travis throw near 300, maybe over 300. A few big touchdowns. We have Florida State scoring 30 points, so obviously we predict that they're going to do some damage on our defense, but offensively, I just think we have too much firepower in response. And I think it's about getting those turnovers to create that separation. So LSU's got to have big plays. Sage Ryan's got to be ready tonight because they're going to be targeting him. I'm telling you right now, they're going to come right at Sage Ryan. Early and often, they're going to test him all game with the football. Don't be shocked about that. And it's a big-time chance for Sage Ryan to get an interception tonight because he's going to get the targets. He's going to have 6 or 7 targets. That's it. And I really do believe that. Like, they're going to come at him. Someone's saying Kamorion Pimpton wasn't on the depth chart. Armani Goodwin is the only Tiger that is out for the game. Thank God. Camping World Stadium. We are getting close here, guys. We're getting close here, gals. We're getting close here. Everybody. Omar Spates looking like a badass out there. Greg Brooks got the eye of the tiger as he's walking in. Just looked like a just absolute Louisianimal. This dude's ready to absolutely destroy some people out there. And that's the thing, too. Major Burns was awesome in this game last year. Florida State, Greg Brooks and Major Burns both were awesome in this game last year against Florida State. They were awesome. They were flying around, attacking the football, playing violent as hell. They were more violent than like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. They were all over the place. Making plays in the backfield, too. And that's the thing, though. Greg Brooks Jr. had Jordan Travis in his arms twice for a sack and could not get him to the ground. That's the thing. We've got to get him to the ground. Jordan Travis missed so many tackles, broke so many tackles, so many sack opportunities last season. He got hit a bunch. B.J. Ojolari smacked the shit out of him on a few plays. Even Mike Jones Jr. had a sack against him. It was Jordan Travis was hit. He was beat up, but he was able to keep making those plays on the run. He's such a great improvisational quarterback. Our defense has got to be ready for it. We've got to contain him, and we just got to limit him. He's going to get his. It's about just keeping him in front of you. We've got to attack him, though, too. We've got to attack him. We can't just keep it all in front of us, contain, play a type of, prevent defense. We've also got to go at him. Go right at the dude. I want to see Harold Perkins, maybe there's some quiet aura around him for the first few minutes. And then suddenly, second drive, you just see him come flying in through the A gaps, just destroy, just burn right through one of these guards and just destroy Jordan Travis. See, that's the thing is everyone's wondering and worrying about the fact that Harold Perkins is going to be in the middle or might not be on the edge or whatever. And here's what I have to say about that. I think it's really naive of you in a football sense to believe that, Harold Perkins has to be on the edge to be effective. I'm sorry, but actually, if you just have him on the edge, it will be easier for teams to block him out of the game. Easier. Easier for them to shut down Harold Perkins. But if you have no fucking clue where the dude's coming from, then how can you stop him? Then how can you understand where the hell this dude's coming from? Then how can how can you have anyone key on the guy? And when you're that fast, he can be one place at 1 second. You put your head down as the center, you look up, now he's over there. And then Harold Perkins recognizes and he just starts moving over here. And that is what is great about Omar Speights. The speed of Omar Speights, the brilliance of Omar Speights, the experience of him to organize everybody as well, the leadership of Omar Speights, the athleticism, the production that he's had over the last few years for Oregon State. He was unstoppable. Omar Speights, he is going to free Harold Perkins up to a whole nother level. Because I think, everyone's saying Harold Perkins is going to spy Jordan Travis and blah, blah, blah. I think you will see that. But I think you're also going to see Speights be the spy on Jordan Travis. And then that allows Harold Perkins to kind of morph around, hover around wherever he feels he needs to go. If he needs to back up into coverage and get that pick, because that's what he's reading in the quarterback's eyes, he can do it. If he needs to come and attack the quarterback off the edge, he sees that mismatch, he can do it. If he wants to go through the A-gaps, he can do it. If he wants to attack that center, he can do it. If he wants to, bully that right guard, that left guard, he can do it. If he wants to come in and chip Ovio Gofu on the inside, if he wants to come in on a disguise and let somebody do a stunt using him as almost a decoy, and then they come on inside and destroy Jordan Travis, great. But you got to keep him moving. You got to keep it multiple. And I think having him just in the middle is also really a disadvantage for LSU too. And so I want to see him start out here and then end here by the time the ball is snapped. I want to see him over here and end back in the middle by the time the ball. I want to see him all over the place pre-snap because he has that speed to get back into the area where he needs to be. And I think it's not like, I'm saying he's a clear across the other side of the field and go, I'm not talking about that stupid shit. I'm talking about he's basically a Sam linebacker, box linebacker, and then he goes back to being a Mike in the middle. That can result in a quick interception on a slant. You think that guy's blitzing, Harold Perkins blitzing, oh shit, and then he goes not just back into coverage to this side, he goes back into coverage to the middle. Interception city. We are getting close to a half hour time, people. Getting close to a half hour. Where is the excitement level? Where is the buzz? Where is the intensity? Are you feeling it? I'm feeling it because here's the thing. The LSU, this is a chance. This is a chance to cradle destiny. In our arms and put all of the past 4 years to bed ever since that 2020 national championship game, that 2019-2020 national championship game, January 13th, 2020. LSU winning that national championship against Clemson. It seems like that for the last 3 years before that, it was just chaos. And Brian Kelly came in, turned it all around, brought a new culture, You still feel like the NCAA are coming after LSU. Still feel like we're a target for the NCAA. It feels like some of the scandal, this it's never going to completely go away. Some of the hatred out there about Brian Kelly is still probably never going to go away. There's still going to be people who are going to hate him. But I feel so good about where this program is going. LSU could go 7-5 this year, and I am still all in because I believe in that guy. I think there's sometimes maybe he isn't endearing to every single person in the media. Maybe he's not endearing to every single person in the locker room. Maybe not every single player likes him, but I think every single one of those people respect him and play hard for him and give it everything they've got, and they want to do well for him on this team. I definitely believe that, but at the same time, I think it's also about the respect and love for the quarterback. I think they've loved this guy. I think they are all dialed in and bought in with Jaden Daniels now. Last year, I think there was some hesitation, some wonder from some people. And I think that ended quickly. But it took a while for Jaden Daniels to win over the fan base as well. Fan base. There's still sectors of this fan base who do not like Jaden Daniels, who think that Jaden Daniels is not the right quarterback for LSU. Well, I got news for you. LSU probably win 4 games. If not for Jaden Daniels last year. My dad just texted me saying, "Did LSU knock off Florida State?" And I'm like, "They've been on a trip." He said he forgot to set his DVR for LSU, and I'm like, "Dude, you still have your DVR set for LSU. The game hasn't happened yet, bro." It's hilarious. I just told him that. He's like, "What? It's on Sunday?" Oh God. Oh my God. I really am pissed off this game is not starting now. 5:30? What the hell is that? Just go into the goddamn game. We're going to have more guests join us on this postgame and pregame shows for the rest of the season. We're going to have fans just like you. We're going to have maybe some media members joining us. We might have some players, some family members joining us. It's going to be a lot of different people. A lot of different people. I think you'll dig it. I want you guys to be able to be entertained every single second, every single word. And I know we don't have the set production value to have me flying around here all looking all slick with this intense vibe and the huge studio setting. But if we can just get more voices on here for you, I think that it will be enough for right now. Because I think you need it instead of, you might have to have me going, yeah, and then, or you might have to have me changing my voice at different times like this. So then you can really feel like there's a different vibe going on every second. There's different voices going on. And there's a different voice now. Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do that. We could pretend like we're like 10 different people, but I don't think that's that entertaining for you. So let's just get 10 regular people who love LSU, who I like, and get them on the damn show, and get them talking LSU football. And we'll put out those invitations. We always do. We'll try and get Stephen Miller on here. Stephen, my bro, we've put out that invitation. We love that dude. Absolutely subscribe, like his stuff, follow him at D Sports 24. You probably already are, but like D Sports 24, absolute badass. Stephen Miller. I can just see him headbutting a Florida State fan right now. Just like his skull is just made of pure like LSU gold, just like Stephen Miller. Like the dude is a badass, and absolutely thank him for his support and his friendship. He's a cool dude. I think many of you know him already, just like I do. Nurse Court, someone we'd like to have again on the show. She was on this show last year, and you know what? She was crazy. During our pregame show for LSU Florida State, guess what she said would be the number one place that she was worried about for LSU going into the game? Special teams. She said it. Special teams. She was worried as hell. And she said it on the show, and she was right. She absolutely nailed that pick. Because, I mean, it was so abundantly clear. It was so bad. It was terrible. And the special teams never improved, obviously. But point is, she came on her show, kicked absolute ass. She's a friend of ours. She's an awesome fan. And if you watch that, when those kicks were happening and the blocks were happening, I know you were thinking, wow, that lady actually called that. Nurse Court just called that shit. Because I was having people DM me going, Nurse Court called that on your show, dude. Nurse Court said special teams were going to suck. You overlooked that, bro. You should have been writing about special teams sucking. How come you didn't think Polian was going to suck like Court did? And I'm like, well, because I thought, well, if Kelly likes Polian, Kelly likes him for a reason. I just didn't know how bad Polian was. And I think Polian got even worse at LSU because the pressure is even higher. You're playing against better competition. You can't hide. And, you know, you can hide at Notre Dame where not a lot of people are watching. Not a lot of people give a shit. It's on NBC. No one likes the woke NBC. And so, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going for Brian Polian in that situation where he can hide. Not at LSU. You're exposed. I knew special teams was going to be rough. I knew it would be like a patchwork thing that you couldn't really count on. Maybe a lot of times you're going for it on fourth down, or like you saw against Alabama, going for 2 for the win. Just end it right there. Because if we had lost that game to Alabama like that with a blocked extra point for the second time that season, someone from the crowd would have murdered Brian Polian. Brian Polian would have not been able to leave that stadium alive. Like, I'm telling you, Polian, they would have been on the intercom. Brian Polian, can you please report to the press conference booth? Thank you. Coach Polian, can you please, like, and then finally they start going like, Coach Polian, we have a stack of 12 boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts in the press conference room. Coach Polian. Just to try and entice him to that press box, to snuff the dude because of the terrible special teams. He wouldn't have left that stadium alive. But, you know, this game, guys, gals, everyone, this game has me so pumped. So pumped, in fact, I know I need some type of candy, some type of food, some type of stuff. We've got some great dinner from last night I'm going to put on. Chelsea's food is just, their cooking is just intergalactic. It's so good, but I need some type of crazy candy, gummies, and all this crazy shit. Like, I need that stuff. I need some type of chips, some type of, you know what sounds really good right now? Some sweet potato chips. I know it sounds bizarre, but the sweet potato chip, oh my God, they are amazing. Amazing. Not so this greasy, sloppy Lay's mess, but just a perfect potato chip. We are going to take a break, but we're going to be probably live streaming the game. Keep the notifications on, subscribe, like, share, love, follow, just like we do with you, our channel, our content. Thank you so much for embracing us, for following us, but we're not done. And we hope you're not done. We hope you're far from done, because if you're watching this, we want you commenting. But why watch this unless your voice can be heard? You comment anything, we will put it on this show. Anything. Because we absolutely love the fans. We love the people who watch. We love the LSU fans because we're one of them. I mean, we got the purple shirt, we got the Joe Burrow jersey, we even got the gold pants. All there is to do but win right now. Watch and win. We're going to be live tweeting the game for sure, though, too. We always do. Follow us on the Twitter. It's in the description below, because that is always where it seems we're doing this stuff. Where we get the most interactions from people. It's where we get the most love. It's where we get the most, people coming on at the site. So it's hard to not keep going there. Twitter.com/LonPhillips. We're going to try and keep posting it everywhere, but see you then for the game, everybody. We predict 41-30 LSU victory, but we're going to see what's going to happen. College football is wild. You know it. I know it. You sometimes you just can't even predict this shit. So buckle up and get ready for LSU football, baby. It's here. We've been waiting an entire 7, 8, 9 months, and it's here. Enjoy.